You might be aware of one of the most talked about brawls of them all that happened in the Gump, which is AKA Montgomery, Alabama. Now, what we're talking about is so far they are planning on releasing arrest warrants, and so far they have released three arrest warrants surrounding the situation of what happened in Montgomery, Alabama. Now, some people are on the fence. How you feel? How you feel? I'll probably watch the video about 45 times, and every time I watch the video, well, a video, because they're like 10 videos. First, it started out with one, and then the video stopped multiplying like gremlins. And I probably have watched each video a minimum of 3 to 4 times because every time you watch a video, you see something different. I looked at the little Pookie man who jumped in the water, little 16-year-old who wasn't playing no games. Then I looked at anytime you see men coming at you and they start skipping and pulling up their pants, they not skipping because they Mary Poppins. They skipping because they about to pop your ass. So you definitely got to understand that the skip of some men is definitely a little different there. So what's going on in Montgomery, Alabama? Arrest warrants issued for three men in massive fight at Montgomery River Dock. Now, this fight was actually avoidable. All they had to do was move their boat and listen to the person running the dock. He was trying to get the riverboat to come dock, and all they had to do was move their boat. But they probably got some liquid courage drinking on some of that Bud Light or Bush or whatever they was drinking on, or the Sam Adams or whatever. And it probably wasn't the best stuff, because if I was one of, because if you really look at the ladies, some of the ladies was trying to break it up, and they were conflict, and it was casualty of war. And some ladies did try to take some hits, and they were casualty of war as well. But let's go ahead and dive into what's going on, right? Arrest warrants have been issued for three men involved in a chaotic brawl at the Riverfront Dock in Montgomery, Alabama. The first thing I will tell you is don't put your hands on people, and don't assume that people are by themselves. The first thing when I see a woman, especially a pretty woman, 8 times out of 10, she got somebody she could call, because people are going to protect women and children 8 times out of 10. It used to be 9 times out of 10, but now it's 8 times out of 10, because you get the notions where some of these women say they don't need no man. But when you see people by themselves, don't assume that they are alone, because a lot of people are not alone, and they are ready to rumble with your behind. All right. So on Saturday, that was captured on videos, let's say plural, and involved an array of punches, a chair to the head, and several people in the water. The fight stemmed from a dispute over the dockside parking spot at Riverfront Park between the crew of a large riverboat and the owners of a small private boat. Montgomery Police Chief Darryl J. Albert said Tuesday at a press conference. Another thing that I did not know is that Montgomery is 80% black. So the people that you are dealing with, unfortunately, are not our ancestors. Unfortunately, I don't want to disrespect our ancestors, but it's a different century. 1963, and then you got 1923. 60-year difference. Be mindful and be careful. Richard Roberts, 48, was been charged with 2 counts of third-degree assault. Allen Todd, 23, and Zachary Shipman, 25. I bet you even want to change his name from Ship. He want to take the ship off his name and call himself Man. He don't even want to be around no boat, tugboat, ship, or anything else right now. Were each charged with 1 count, such count, Albert said. The chief described the 3 men who were connected to the private boat. One of those men has surrendered and is in custody. The other two, the two others are expected to be in custody soon. Abbott said he did not specify who is in custody. Now, what I want to know is who's telling on who. It's like when you do a crime, everybody's in it. But when they get arrested, the snitch policy go into effect. Somebody's going to point the finger at the other person to get lesser charges. So somebody's going to say, nah, Richard did. Did somebody going to say Allen did? Did somebody going to say Zachary did it? But all I know, all three got their ass whooped, did it. And it was avoidable. Just move your ship and take your hands off of people. The fight largely broke down along racial lines in the city with a fraught history of racial violence. Investigators looked into whether there was enough evidence to charge for a hate crime or inciting a riot, but the actions did not meet the criteria, Abbott said. Even when you looked at the video, the police didn't do all they could to stop these fights. They really didn't. They let these people act a fool, and act the fool they did. One person slid through his Crocs, literally. The Crocs went all the way down his feet. It was just despicable. People getting thrown in the water. You got Pookie Man swimming the river. It was all kind of stuff. I watched about 45 times. The victims and the assaults were identified as Damian Pickett, the black co-captain of the riverboat, and a 16-year-old white male. And what you got to understand, the young boy did try to stop them. And what did they do to him? They pushed that young boy. I didn't know the young boy was 16, but he tried to stop those three people from jumping on the co-captain, and they pushed the young boy. But what he did, he got out the way. Police also asked that a black man who was seen in the video swinging a folding chair contact them for further questioning. Nah, what they want to do is further arrest you. That's what they want to do. I'm surprised he ain't in jail now, because the way he went Dusty Rose on everybody was, oh my goodness. The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, Montgomery County District Attorney's Office, and the local office of the FBI were all consulted on the charges, according to Abbott. In all, 13 people were detained and questioned for several hours Saturday before being released, the chief said. The chief said the investigation is ongoing and more charges are likely. So none of the ladies clearly were arrested thus far. They probably was detained and arrested, but none of those ladies are arrested. Chief provides further details on start of fight. Here's what he said. The chief press conference provided further details on the fight, and it's been widely shared on social media the past few days. The incident began about 7 p.m. Saturday when the Harriet No. 2 riverboat carrying 227 passengers attempted to dock in its designated and reserved spot along the riverfront. But a private boat was docked in its space, and the boat's owner responded to request to move with a scene gestures, curse words, and taunting. So they came with the action. They came with what happened to them. All right. Pickett, the co-captain, was picked up from the riverboat by another vessel and brought to the dock to try to have a conversation. So the gentleman that was on the boat, a smaller boat came to pick him up and came over to try to have a conversation so they can move. So this is where we get more insight of what happened. There, the boat's owners confronted the captain in a very hostile manner and then attacked him, as the video shows, the chief said. As the co-captain approached the dock and attempted to peacefully move the boat over just enough so that the Harriet could park, the owners of the boat confronted him in a very hostile manner. There were words exchanged, and then it turned into a fist encounter. The co-captain was doing his job, Albert said. The fight was brought on by reckless individuals who did not use good judgment and caused an event that certainly was avoidable, Mayor Stephen Reed said. So now you got the chief and the mayor taking up for the boat captain. Then said the police department reacted very swiftly. They reacted, but it was only one woman. She put her gloves on, but it was too much moving parts. Too many moving parts. She tried to do what she could, but the men didn't move that fast. They already knew a fight was ensuing, and I think they kind of let them fight, honestly. Lawrence Bobby, a witness aboard the riverboat, told CNN they have been waiting for about 30 to 45 minutes for the small boat owners to come and move it. So now they already own this boat for 45 minutes, and these people wouldn't move. But nobody came forward. She said employee eventually went over to the small boat and started untying the vessel, and a man who appeared to be white ran over. Video of the interaction shows the employee and a group of men got into a heated discussion. After several minutes, a shirtless white man charged and shoved the employee, who flung his hat in the air. The footage shows the shirtless man then threw several more punches, and a group of several more white people knocked the worker to the ground and started hitting him. The footage shows, in addition, a young white man wearing a life jacket, as you can see, it's small, but you can see, came over the scene and was struck by one of the shirtless white men. The video shows. The video escalated further, with other groups of people entering the fray, and a person aboard the boat jumped in the water and swam toward the fight. The video shows. After one point, a black man attacked two others with the folding chair as if competing in a professional wrestling match. Before he was detained by police, the footage shows another person was knocked off the dock into the water, according to the video. Montgomery police said they were called to the scene and found a large group of subjects engaged in a physical altercation, according to Monday news release. Clayton Thompson, who has worked as a singer and entertainer on a riverboat for 12 years, said Saturday fight was disappointing. We kept asking them to move the boat. I even made up a song during those 30 to 45 minutes. Move your boat, he said. All they did was shooting birdies, shouting profanity, and it was obvious that all they wanted to do was cause ruckus. And they got the ruckus that they whatever they want to cause, they end up getting it. And I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna play another video where we're going to talk about some of the stuff that really happened. It's the suspects thus far have been identified as Richard Roberts, white male, 48 years old, with 2 outstanding warrants for assault, 3rd degree. Allen Todd, white male, 23 years old, 1 warrant for assault, 3rd degree. And Zachary Shipman, white male, 25 years old, 1 warrant for assault, 3rd degree. We have instructed those individuals to turn themselves into law enforcement, and as at this time, 1 is secured and in custody. The other 2 are set to turn themselves in within the next hour. We're also asking for Mr. Reggie Gray, the black male, 42 years old, who was seen wielding that folding chair, to contact the Montgomery Police Department for further interviews and as part of this investigation. As the mayor said a minute ago, this investigation is ongoing and more charges are likely. Nah, they're going to arrest you, buddy.
Another round of severe weather later on this afternoon,
when they say contact them, what they're telling you is you either contact them or they contact you. So I'll stay on top of this story. This is Antonio with Team Tiggio. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll definitely be on top of this story. And we will see you in the next video.